When life gets unpredictable, preparation matters. In medicine, it's all about staying alert, ready for whatever comes through the door. On the road, it's no different. That's why Volvo designs vehicles to help anticipate risk, reduce harm, and protect lives. The Volvo XC90's advanced safety systems inspire confident decisions wherever the road takes you. The Volvo XC90, for life. Proud sponsor of the Pit Podcast. Learn more at volvocars.ca/safety.
I'm really thrilled to get a chance to talk with Tracey Lindeman, who is, full disclosure, an acquaintance, a friend of mine, someone that I've gone to pinball with. And she's written a very important book. It's called Bleed, Destroying Myths and Misogyny in Endometriosis Care. 190 million people live with extreme pain every day caused by endometriosis. And the wild thing is, it can take years. I think the number is 8 years on average to get a diagnosis for this really severe illness. Women can have different symptoms, so it's tricky to diagnose, but oftentimes they get ignored or mistreated by doctors and health professionals. Tracey went through this experience herself, and she talks about that in Bleed, as well as looking at the larger issues surrounding this health struggle. She's going to be presenting the book tomorrow night at Turbo House, but we've got her on the line right now. Welcome, Tracey.
Hi, Sarah.
Thank you so much for taking the time. This must be such a personal experience for you to be writing about your own health care.
Yeah. I mean, as a journalist, I never wrote about my own life, really. And so this is quite a debut, I would say. There's something I just wanted to mention.
Yeah.
In your introduction, you mentioned 190 million people have this disease. But actually, kind of the running number that we've been using in endometriosis for many, many years is 1 in 10 people assigned female at birth. And there are 4 billion of us in the world. 10% of that is 400 million. So I think that we've got to update that 190 million globally, because that number happens all the time. We see it everywhere, but it's 10% of 4 billion is not 190.
Well, thanks for clarifying that, because I also think of, when I was thinking about this conversation, because for me, this is extremely interesting. I am a woman. I've had health issues with my reproductive system, and it was so hard to get treatment for very urgent health problems. So it interests me as a woman, but I also know if you think, oh, this doesn't concern me, yeah, take 10 of your female friends or family members, and think 1 out of 10 of them is dealing with this debilitating illness and taking years to get an answer. I mean, we know in general for a lot of health issues, it can take time just to get the diagnosis, but endometriosis, this is a recurrent thing. Is that true, that stat, 8 years for diagnosis?
Well, 10 years, 8 to 10 years is the average in Canada. It took me 24 years. So, I mean, I guess whatever that means to the average. But yeah, I mean, I like to say everybody knows somebody with endo, and it's true. You know, like so many people I've spoken to have said, I don't have this, but I know 3 people who do. Yeah. You know, and so anyone listening to this, if you don't have endo, you probably know someone who does.
I just realized I'm committing a bit of a cardinal sin here. We're not saying what the illness is. I know symptoms can vary. So how do we define endo?
Yeah, so endo is the short form of endometriosis, and it is it's defined as a chronic inflammatory condition in which tissue that is similar but not identical to the lining of the uterus grows outside of the uterus. And that tissue can attach to the ovaries, the bladder, the bowel, even the lungs, diaphragm, liver. Some people have it in their brains even. It's rare, but it does happen, and it can even be in your skin.
It just sounds like an illness that it sounds like a sci-fi condition. Like it could happen anywhere in your body, and it's going to affect you, and it's going to be worse at certain parts of the month.
Yeah, it's like neon green toxic blood, you know?
So Tracey, what happened when you tried to get treatment? Was it like a stonewalling? Like people didn't take your symptoms seriously?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I first got my period when I was 11, and I had a terrible period from the beginning. It was so painful. That's one of the main issues with endometriosis is that it's extremely painful. It's a very, very painful condition. And so I was like, why am I in so much pain? You know, and I didn't have a family doctor, so I was going to the walk-in clinic, and they were just like, it's normal to be in this much pain, just suck it up. Eventually they gave me naproxen, which is an anti-inflammatory drug that I ended up staying on for 24 years, in which I ended up developing a rare side effect too because of how much I had used it. And then, when I was 14, they prescribed me the pill. I stayed on that for 12 years. And then, I switched to another brand that made me feel legitimately insane. So I discontinued that. So a lot of it was just like, take these drugs and deal with it. And then when I was 26 and I'd gone off that pill, I went to my doctor and I was like, I don't want to be on the pill anymore and I don't want kids. Can I please have a hysterectomy because I am in so much pain? And she was like, no way. No way. No one's ever going to give a 26-year-old a hysterectomy.
Because it would mean that you wouldn't be able to have kids down the line, and you seem too young to make that decision for yourself, is what they're saying.
That's what they were saying. But I mean, there are 26-year-olds who have multiple children. Like, how are they allowed to make that decision for themselves? But I wasn't allowed to make a decision about my fertility. I knew when I was a kid that I didn't want kids. And I never changed my mind. I never had kids. Why isn't that considered a legitimate choice?
I'm speaking with Tracey Lindeman, who is a journalist, roots in Montreal, the author of Bleed, Destroying Myths and Misogyny in Endometriosis Care. She will be launching the book tomorrow night. I'll have those details for you in just a moment. Tracey, why do women's pain and women's issues get dismissed by the traditional medical establishment?
How much time do you have?
We have 2 minutes.
Okay. So endometriosis isn't the only condition that people assigned female at birth have that they bring to the doctor and that gets dismissed. And the reason why so many different conditions get dismissed is because of misogyny in the medical system. And people of all different genders, suffer the repercussions of misogyny in the medical system. And so basically it's a lot of, women's existence is pain. You just have to deal with it. We get periods, we have kids. Therefore, you can't escape the pain. You should just learn to live with it type thing.
Just deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. But it's way more complicated than that, which is why I wrote like 100,000 words about it. But that's the short version of it.
Tracey, I do appreciate you trying to elucidate some of that and synthesize it for us. You mentioned as a journalist, you never really wrote or talked about yourself. So what made you pivot to turn to this really personal issue? Because you're not just writing about your own health journey with endo, but other women's experiences as well. And it's a look at the medical system. But what made you be up for writing about yourself?
I felt like a lot of the literature on endometriosis was very geared towards self-help. This is the diet you should do. These are the exercises you should do. This is what you should do. But never, these are the people who should help you. It was always, you should help yourself. But I literally have spent tens of thousands of dollars across my life trying to help myself with the endometriosis. And I could not figure it out. I could not fix it. I needed someone in medicine to actually help me. And like, no word of a lie, I have actually thought about going to medical school, doing like 7 years of medical training, because honestly, like that would have been a faster route to helping myself than the 24 years it took to get a diagnosis, And so like, I kind of looked at it that way and I said that there's a story here. Like there's a story that has not been reported on at length. People haven't tied all the connections up here, and maybe I should be the person to do it.
And you are the right person to do it. So thank you for stepping up. I'm sure there's millions of women, or 1 in 10 women around the world, who appreciate you doing this. I do have a text here at 514-800. Just received my 2 copies of Tracey's book. I follow her on Twitter, and I'm hoping to help find answers for my daughter through her journey. So there's one person, Tracey, that you're helping. 2, actually, because she bought 2 copies, one for her and one for, or him, her, for their daughter. And
thank you so much for supporting the book and reading it and sharing it with people. It really matters, and it means a lot to me.
And I think even if you're not dealing with endo personally, if you have the female tubing, plumbing, this will be a really enlightening read, because I know, as I mentioned, something like this happened to myself, and I'm sure you're going to read it and feel seen. So Tracey, this texter follows you on Twitter. How can we follow you on Twitter?
My Twitter handle is Tracey Lindeman, but I'm really consolidating all of my book adventures on Instagram, and my Instagram handle is @bleed_the book. So bleed the book on Instagram.
I'm following it and your journey, and also bleedthebook.com for more information on the books and where to find them. And you can meet Tracey. She's launching the book in Montreal tomorrow evening, Turbo House on Saint Denis. So that is below Sherbrooke, above de Maisonneuve, I believe. That is 5 to 8. You're going to be reading from the book, Tracey, and I think there'll be cocktails as well. So a good time all in all.
Yes, yeah. Turbo House made a couple special drinks for me, including one called the Gaslighter.
That's so fitting. I'll have one of those, please. Actually, make it two. Tracey, congratulations on the book, and thanks for taking time to speak with me.
Thank you.